Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chings in Chicago head to a homeless shelter to provide hot meals and blankets. At a year-end blessing ceremony in Inner Mongolia, volunteers expressed their joy of forming good affinities with people. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Tzu. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chings in Chicago went to a shelter for the homeless to provide hot meals and blankets. This act of love, including cooking vegetarian food, was conducted by these Tzu Chings in their 20s.
They walk steadily in the snow because they are eager to help.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Ching in Chicago go to a homeless shelter to give hot meals. They have prepared main dishes, fruits, and everything else. The Tzu Chings sit down with them and chat with them like friends.
I asked them how they were doing, and I learned from both of them that they were quite positive. They didn't feel that being homeless was a shameful thing, and they felt grateful about this.
This event is carried out by young people aged 20 to 30. Tzu Chi volunteers teach these young people how to cook vegetarian meals, which are healthy and full of love.
Tzu Chi has been caring for Gansu Province, Weiyuan County for 20 years, visiting solitary seniors in the rural countryside. Many of these individuals look forward to the arrival of Tzu Chi volunteers.
Each year, Tzu Chi volunteers make house visits to distribute aid supplies. A recent visit to a century-old house led Yan Daichang to suffer a waist injury, as the slippery road made this particular trip take an hour and a half. Seeing this familiar person also makes many people quite happy. They quickly forget how tired they are, and the whole room is filled with laughter, as his optimism is the greatest gift. In his 70s, Grandpa Mao eagerly awaited the visit of Tzu Chi volunteers. Tzu Chi has been caring for solitary seniors in Gansu for 20 years, continuing to show love and compassion for them. Volunteers also visit Mrs. Wong, whose daughter's mental development remains at the age of 5, even though she is now entering the prime of her life at the age of 21.
Every case that we visit is like seeing a teacher. They can really teach us about what the essence of life is all about, and they show faith in overcoming so much hardship.
I did not know there was so much hardship before. I thought there were fewer such people in our society, but I have learned that there are too many disadvantaged people who really suffer a lot. Hanging the symbol of peace may bring a little blessing and look over this disadvantaged family struggling to survive.
More than 80% of patients who go to the hospital seek medical help for pain problems. The most common treatment includes medication and surgery. However, for patients whose pain cannot be cured by medication and those who do not want to undergo surgery, they can now choose radiofrequency ablation for pain treatment. As one ages, a person experiences pain in more parts of his or her body.
It is getting more difficult to walk with my knee problem as I am old.
My knees feel sore from time to time.
While sleeping, he feels painful whenever he turns, affecting his sleep quality. He has difficulties getting off the bed as his feet feel numb easily. Limping as he walks, 75-year-old Zhang Tianfa has begun to experience waist and back pain since 2 years ago.
I do not dare to go to the restroom to urinate, and I place a chamber pot beneath my bed. It takes me 1 to 2 minutes to get up as I get up slowly.
Despite seeking medical treatment, Zhang's lower back pain did not improve. A year ago, he finally found the cause of the pain problem.
很多背痛就是说，它可能是肌肉、骨骼的一些个。
A lot of back pain is an indication of the degeneration of the skeleton and muscles. Surgeries do not help. Most people take medication and undergo rehabilitation, but still do not improve their conditions because they are already injured.
Most common pain treatment includes medication and surgeries. Now patients can choose to undergo radiofrequency ablation, which ablates the nerve edges of the painful area, cutting off the pain signals.
一般是扎6针到。
We commonly ablate the pain nerves right here with 6 to 7 needles. We basically burn the nerve edges, so it damages the minimal nerves. This way, we won't affect the patient's ability to exercise or his other nerve functions.
After undergoing 3 radiofrequency ablation treatments, Zhang's pain has been alleviated and he can move about freely.
Now it is more convenient to walk as my feet no longer feel numb. I can turn my body, and if I need to get up all of a sudden, it's fine.
The doctor reminds the patients that after undergoing the treatment, they still need to watch out for their health, so the effect can last for more than a year.
After alleviating the pain, the patients still need to undergo rehabilitation and be careful of their movements. They will need to adjust their life habits, including eating habits.
If the pain problem has affected one's work performance or daily living, the doctor also suggests the patient seeks medical treatment immediately to treat the pain. Taiwan students going to study e-commerce may choose Yiwu Industrial and Commercial College because of the heavy emphasis on online sales and marketing. The school has nearly 9,600 students, of which about 1/5 are actually running a business. Here's our in-depth report.
A wide range of items, big and small, can be found in Zhejiang's Yiwu International Trade City, which can be described as a global wholesale center. There are some 75,000 stores selling 1.8 million products, with more than 200 foreign trade countries, making it the world's largest market for small consumer items.
Zhejiang's Yiwu City is the largest wholesale market for small commodity items in the world. However, with the introduction of the e-commerce, a change has been underway.
For real stores like us, does it have an impact? It actually has a very obvious impact. In the past, we had quite a lot of customers visiting us.
Yiwu was thought of as a convenient shopping location with cheap prices for lots of wholesale goods, though an average of almost 1,000 shops closed down every month since the beginning of this year. The impact is from e-commerce and other structural changes in the market.
Amazon's share price has risen from around 480 to around 1,000, and Alibaba rose from 56 to nearly 170. So we can tell from this that e-commerce is a future trend.
The boom in e-commerce market also led the school to transform and cultivate relevant talent. The Yiwu Industrial and Commercial College is just 3 kilometers away from the world's largest market for small consumer commodities and has gained a reputation for its e-commerce courses.
主持人，我要发快递，要不桌子外面拿那个箱子过来。
我们有分创业班跟非创业班，然后就是让你自己大部分时间让你自己去创业。
Ching Zisen, a native of Taipei, after graduating from Zhonghe High School last year, came to Yiwu Industrial and Commercial College because the school emphasized entrepreneurship and practical teaching in order to allow students to facilitate shipments, has allowed 4 logistics companies to be directly stationed on the campus.
Yiwu has an advantage because if a courier package is sent to Jiangsu, the national post may charge 3.2 yuan, but in Yiwu it is only 2.2 yuan.
Just 19 years old, Zisen makes good use of school resources and now imports products from Taiwan to be sold in China's e-commerce platform. The school also has an online and real specialty Taiwan store that he helps run.
Most of the times when you want to start your own business, you need market exposure to different people. Basically, in the morning, I do the shipping, and in the evening, I'm online.
The school emphasizes practical teaching with the proportion of theory-based courses being less than half of the curriculum. and with their free time allowing them to operate their own business platform as they focus on implementation. Furthermore, with relevant supply chain companies stationed nearby, this encourages students to do their own business. Though Taiwan does not have the trade resources of China, there are schools promoting and starting businesses and setting up special courses. At the beginning of this year, DaAi University set up an entrepreneurial laboratory.
In the future, there will be room for diversity as we started to guide our students to become interested in this field during their college days through micro-entrepreneurship courses.
And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out control-powered
This class has invited the famous creative director of a travel group to give a lecture about entrepreneurship, with an emphasis being on the right attitude and philosophy to start a business. Before starting a business, one needs to make it clear that you have mastered the core values of starting a business.
At the core, you need to recognize if you're meeting current demand for business or if you have insight into satisfying new future demand.
Courses in being an entrepreneur are taking place on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, with one side focusing on practical lessons while the other is putting more emphasis on attitudes and philosophies. One instructor believes that these lessons can also be carried over in other areas besides e-commerce. In addition to being adept at new technologies, young people should focus their attention on execution in order to enhance their opportunities for success.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers in Yilan held a year-end reunion feast for care recipients at the Jingsi Hall. At the occasion, second-hand clothes were provided for the participants to choose from, while there were also games for young and old alike.
Tzu Chi volunteers have invited care recipients to have a year-end reunion feast prior to the Lunar New Year. In addition to driving them to the event venue, volunteers have also prepared second-hand clothes for them to choose. Zhenshi Guixiang, who was once a care recipient but now a recycling volunteer, goes onto the stage to express her gratitude for Tzu Chi over the past 10 years.
They have been concerned about me, helped me solve financial problems, and accompanied me to walk out of despair. I am grateful to Tzu Chi volunteers.
Guixiang always wears a smile on her face, but actually she lived a difficult life as she had to look after her ill husband and paralyzed son at the same time. During those tough times, volunteers were the people she could rely on. After her husband passed away, she repays Tzu Chi's love by doing recycling whenever she has free time.
You can see she has become healthy, happy, and energetic after starting to do recycling. She told me the other day that she had a health checkup and everything is fine with her.
By serving people who are in need, Guixiang has made her life more meaningful. At the moment, she has also felt the love and warmth at the reunion.
In Taichung, Taiwan, lives 63-year-old Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Zhen, who undergoes dialysis. He also takes care of his autistic grandson and his wife, who suffers from cancer. Tzu Chi volunteers have reached out to this family, providing subsidies and repairing their dilapidated house. Mrs. Zhen has been suffering from rectal cancer for more than a year. Since she's weak due to her illness, her husband cooks for her.
In the past, I did not cook. Now I need to cook for her since she cannot cook.
63-year-old Mr. Zhen needs to undergo dialysis, and his family faces financial difficulties. For him, cooking is not difficult, but caring for his 17-year-old autistic grandson is challenging.
I've not successfully applied for government subsidies to repair my house. Go sit over here. Grandpa, I will care for you later. When he gets emotional, he will bother his grandmother, and therefore she cannot sleep.
This familiar music can calm the big boy's mind. Although he has not talked for several years, seniors do take good care of their sick grandson.
Sometimes I get angry, but I still love him. Why can't I teach him well? Since he is attached to me, I cannot give up on him.
He shoulders a lot of responsibilities. Therefore, as I watch him, I feel that I need to stay alive.
Although this family faces a lot of challenges in life, they've stayed strong. At their most difficult time, Tzu Chi volunteers have brought timely help. Besides providing subsidies, Tzu Chi volunteers also help repair the dilapidated house.
It was leaking and molded. After they repaired the house, I feel much better.
Besides providing a comfortable environment, the volunteers have also brought them second-hand furniture.
Although we are underprivileged, we do our best. We save up in this coin bank in hopes that we can help other people in need.
Saving up in coin banks to be donated, Mr. Zhen is hoping that he can also pay the love forward and help other less fortunate people. In China, Tzu Chi volunteers in Inner Mongolia held a year-end blessing ceremony to pray for a peaceful Lunar New Year for everyone. One of the volunteers shared with the participants the importance of saving planet Earth after having made contact with Tzu Chi.
Doing recycling for the earth and forming a good affinity with people is something Zhang Mingshen seldom did before.
I used to enjoy eating and playing every day. In my mind, I thought this lifestyle was something I should do my whole life. But after I came into contact with Tzu Chi, I think my life shouldn't be like this.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Inner Mongolia host a year-end blessing ceremony, inviting everyone to pray piously for the peaceful new year, as well as bringing everyone in the community close together.
In Keelung, Taiwan, recycling volunteer Zhang Zhongling lives next to a Tzu Chi recycling station. In addition to going to the recycling station every morning, noon, and evening, he has also created some special tools, making it more convenient to do recycling. Even when he had some health problems 5 years ago, he still did recycling at home.
This is Zhang Zhongling, who has created a special tool for squeezing plastic bottles.
Back then, I had started to collect plastic bottles, as plastic bottles needed to be squeezed, so I have made this tool.
The recycled oil container is filled with bottles and cans. Even flattened aluminum can be stuffed into the crack. Even though Zhang is in his 80s, he is quite concerned about the recycling station.
Even if it rains, I still come to take a look. The recycling station is quite near my home, as it takes me only 2 to 3 minutes to walk here.
Every morning, noon, and evening, Zhang may come to take a look. He has finally found a way to solve the problem he always wanted to deal with.
I cannot see him once in a while the whole day. If I cannot find him, I must go to the recycling station to find him. He must be there.
Zhang has been devoted to recycling because something has moved him when Typhoon Nari struck his hometown this year.
I had a grocery store and it was flooded. In the aftermath of the disaster, many Tzu Chi volunteers came to help me clean the environment.
Eager to repay this love, Zhang has walked into Tzu Chi's recycling station. Even 5 years ago, when he had a health problem, he still did recycling at home wearing the medical oxygen cylinder. Zhang thinks it is his fortune being able to walk to the recycling station every day.
In our next report, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer Lin Wanling. She's 82 years old, but she spends all her free time volunteering at Taichung, Daling, or Hualien Tzu Chi hospitals. She uses her story and the grief she experienced from losing her loved one to comfort other patients.
Volunteering in the hospital allows Lin Wanling to see all stages of life and also accompany patients and their families to bravely face illness. However, Lin has also experienced a lot of pain too. Her husband died due to an illness. 2 of her 3 children have also passed away, but she is still upset at the torment her eldest son experienced due to adenocarcinoma of the lung.
Seeing him in so much pain, I also feel extremely pain too, and I couldn't reduce the pain on his behalf. So I begged a bodhisattva to take him away. Then 2 days later, my son passed away, and I was relieved.
Lin Wanling used volunteering to overcome the pain of her losing her son.
2 of my children have passed away. I couldn't get them back no matter how much grief I felt. So I encouraged myself to do some volunteering.
Whether it is recycling or learning sign language songs for a performance, Lin Wanling lives every day mindfully.
I feel she's a good example of not wasting her life.
I often said that whether you're happy or sad, a day will still go by. Then why don't you live your day happily?
She has said goodbye to her grievances and lives happily every day.
In Taichung, Taiwan, the construction of a new building at Tzu Chi's Dongda grounds began last June and is scheduled to be completed in 2019. Local Tzu Chi volunteers have been taking turns to cook delicious vegetarian food for the construction workers. In addition, their humanitarian spirit has also made an impact on the construction workers. Let's take a look. Picking, washing, and chopping vegetables, Tzu Chi volunteers are taking turns to cook delicious vegetarian food for construction workers. Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Chunli's 72-year-old father suffers from final stage tongue cancer.
Although he suffers from final stage cancer, his cancer cells have not spread.
After her father's health condition improved, Wu brought him to serve with gratitude.
I hope he can go amongst the public so he can work alongside the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters.
Serving with joy despite her illness, Tzu Chi volunteer Fang Aizhu is managing general affairs. Although she suffers from scoliosis, she still serves wearing her waist brace.
My waist and knees have degenerated. Since it is my shift, I overcome the difficulties to come serve.
Tzu Chi volunteers' humanitarian spirit has also made an impact upon construction workers.
The culture at this construction site is different from other places. Working here, I can calm my mind and I feel more peaceful.
The construction of a new building at Tzu Chi Dongda grounds has begun in June of last year and is scheduled to be completed by May of 2019. The construction site is as large as 44,722.8 square meters. The 7-story building with a basement will be Tzu Chi's new cultivation ground upon its completion in 2019. In Taiwan, Dharma Master Changding of Wuyan Buddhist Institute has invited Tzu Chi volunteers and other volunteers to prepare vegetarian food for those in need. As they give out the vegetarian lunch boxes, they hope more people will adopt a vegetarian diet to protect planet Earth. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.